In the previous part, we worked on our profile section. So we created our profile screen and displayed the details of the user's account. And then we displayed some dummy data for the wish list over here. Now in this part, we are going to see how to add data to the actual wish list and also display this component here when there is nothing in our wish list. Now to start, we want to set up the storage for our wish list data. For this, we'll be making use of async storage and then context. Now for async storage, we've created some utilities in the storage file here. So we have a function to store data in the async storage and then one to get data from the async storage, all using a key. And also in the context file here, we create our context. So make use of the async storage here to permanently store the data for our wish list. And the context here will serve as a temporary storage for accessing the data in our wish list in the application. So over here, we create our context. And we'll call this saved products context. Now to continue, go to our app.js file. Over here for the context, we'll create an initial value for it. This will be a state, and we'll call it saved products. And then to have a set function. For this, it will be an array. Now to proceed, we import our saved products context from our context file under utilities. And then using this context here, we want to target the provider. And then wrap it inside the return statement. We'll wrap it just around our user context provider. Now for this provider, we'll pass the value, and the value will be an object of the saved products, and then the set saved products. This will provide our application with access to the saved products and also a way to update the value. Now with this done, we want to assume that we've stored some data in our async storage already regarding our wish list. So whenever the app starts, this useEffect hook here calls the prepare app function, which fetches all the data that we need in the app. So over here, we want to make a fetch for the data in our saved product, that is our wish list. So over here, we'll have the saved products data. And then we'll await a call to the get data function. For this, we'll follow a similar format to the one here. So we can copy this and then change the cart items here to saved products. Now, once we have something in the saved products over here like so, we want to call the set function here to update the saved products. So we call set saved products, and then we pass the saved products data here to update it. So whenever the app starts, if you've already saved some data in the async storage for the saved products, it will be fetched here and then saved in our context so that we can access and display it in the app. With this done, now on the profile page, instead of our dummy data, we'll be using the saved products here from the context. So on the profile page, we need to use our context. In addition to the user context, we now need the saved products context like so. And then at the start of the profile component, we can destructure the saved products from the use context hook while passing the saved products context like so. So with this done, we can get rid of this saved product here. And now once we do that, we see that the wish list is empty. Now when the wish list is empty, that is when we want to display our component over here that the wish list is empty. We did something very similar for our cart page over here. So we'll take the inspiration from that and design this quickly. So to do this, we go to the cart.js file. And over here, we see that in the return here, when the length of the cart items is less than 0, we have this whole component over here. So we can copy this, and then back on the profile page, we paste it just before the flat list. Now, first of all, instead of the cart items, we are using saved products. For the style, we'll be using empty wishlist. For the icon, we'll be using the ant design icon pack instead. The name of the icon we'll be using is heart O. The size will stay the same, the color will stay the same, and for the style, we'll reduce the margin at the bottom to 30 pixels. Also, for the text here, instead of your cart is empty, we'll say your wish list is empty. And then for this style, instead of empty cart text, we'll say empty wish list text. And then finally, we'll change this to wish list. Now, visiting the profile page, this will not be working. So to get this to work, at the top, we start by importing view from React Native. Also, we need to bring in our screen width constant. This is telling us the size of our current screen. For the getWine data here, we don't need it anymore. With what we've done, let's see if it's working. Good, so now there is no component missing yet. The only thing remaining is the styling. So back on the cart page, we scroll to the styling. Then we copy the empty cart and also the empty cart text. Then back on the profile page, we add that to our styling. Now we copy the name of the styles we used, starting with the empty wish list. And that will replace the empty cart. Then the empty wish list text here, that will replace the empty cart text. Now this is supposed to be centered, and also we are displaying it only when the saved product is less than 0. So now for the alternate situation where the product length is greater than 0, that is when we'll be returning this flat list here. So I've copied the statement here, the first line, then I'll paste it here before the flat list. And this time around, we are checking for when the length is greater than 0. And in that case, we'll return the flat list. So once we do that, our empty message here should be centered, just like we have in our target image over here. Now from this image, I see that the icon here is a bit too bright. So going back to the image, to the ant design icon, for the tertiary color, we'll lighten it a bit. And now it should look exactly like what we have on this page. Now let's focus on adding items to the wish list. In our application, to add something to the wish list, you should go to the product details page. And over here, we have a heart button here. And when the button is pressed, we want the item that we are currently viewing to be added to the wish list. So to handle this, we go to the details page. Over here, we already have the function to store data in the async storage. So now we need one for the context. At the top, we've already imported the use context hook. But now we also need the actual context for the saved products. So in addition to the cart context over here, we bring in the saved products context. Now for accessing the value and also the method to change the saved products, over here we destructure the saved products and also the set saved products from the use context hook and passing the saved products context like so. Now in addition to this, we will need a state to tell whether the current product has been saved or not. So for this, we'll call it saved, and it also have a set method. For this to be using the useState hook, the initial value will be false. Now to handle saving item to the wish list, we will create a function. So just before the use effect here, we have a function for that. We'll call this handle save product. We'll make this an async one and then open a try catch block in it. For the time being, we just console.1 whatever error we get. Now we have to pass this function to the onPress property of the heart button. So you scroll down to where we have the heart button. That is over here, this touchable opacity. And then through the onPress property, we pass handle save product. Now we go back to the function. Now to add a product to the wish list, we need to update the current wish list, which is the saved product, and then save it again. So in this function, we'll have an updated saved products variable like this, which will be an array. And then we'll start by spreading the current saved products that we have. Remember, this is coming from the context over here. Once we have this, we go ahead to add the current product we are looking at. That is the fetched wine. So the fetched wine here refers to the current details of the product we are looking at. So now we are adding it to the updated saved product. So once we have this, we have to save it back into the saved product. So below this, we call the set saved products, and then we pass the updated saved products like so. Now, in addition to the temporary context we are storing it in, we also need to store it permanently. So for this, we'll make use of the store data function, which we've already imported at the top here. Now, this will also take the updated saved products. However, before this, it needs a key. And this key must be exactly the same as the one that we are fetching the saved products from in the app.js file. So over here, we are fetching from at wineapp:saved product. So we copy the name, and back on the details page, we pass that as the key to the store data. Now with this done, if we press on the save button here, the item should be saved to the wish list. On the profile page, we see that now the item is over here, meaning we've been able to add to our wish list. But on the details page over here, nothing shows that it has been added to the wish list. So this way we'll be using the save state that we created over here. So inside the handle save product, after storing it permanently in our storage, we will set saved to true. And then scrolling down to where we have our button, we'll make some styling adjustments. Starting with the name, we'll convert this to an object. Over here, if we have saved the product, we want to set the icon name to heart. Otherwise, we'll keep the heart O. For the color as well, if it has been saved, we want to make use of our accent color, which has been lightened a bit. Otherwise, we can stick to the tertiary color, which has also been lightened a bit. Now with this done, if we press on the button here, we see that the item has been added to the cart. And then the color of the icon has changed to indicate that. But if we go back on the page and then return back to the details, we see that the highlight is no longer there. But however, if we go back to the profile, our item is still in the cart, and even it has been added twice, which we'll fix in a bit. So what is happening here is that even though the item is in the wish list, there is no way for the page to tell whether the current product is viewing is in the wish list or not. So over here on this page, we'll create a very simple function which will check the status of this product whenever the page loads to tell whether it has been added to the wish list or not. So below this, we'll create that function. This will be called check saved status. Here, we'll be working with the sum array method. So over here, we're making a check if the saved products.sum. So we are checking if some of the saved products has this condition to be true. That is, the saved products contact.id, the same as the wine ID of the product we are currently looking at. So if that is the case, we will set saved to true. Now we want this function to run whenever the page loads. So we'll copy the name of this function, and inside our use effect hook, we'll paste it here and call it. Now once we do that, we see that our button is back to being highlighted, meaning the page here or the current product exists in the wish list already. Now if the product has been added to the wish list already, if I press on the button again, it shouldn't keep adding to the wish list here, so that we end up with 3 of the same products in the same wish list. However, if I press on the button here, it should take the item out of the wish list. So in the handle save products here, we want to make a check for if the item has been saved already. So over here at the top, we want to check if the item has been saved. If it has not been saved already, that is when we'll do all the things we've done over here. So we can cut this and then paste it here. Now in the else condition, we'll still be updating the saved product. And also to make it accessible by the functions over here, we can copy the declaration here and paste it above the if statement. And then over here, we get rid of the let. Now in the else here, it means that the item already exists in the wish list. So what we are going to do is that we'll filter that product out of the wish list. So over here, our new updated saved products will be the saved products, that is the already existing one, .filter. And over here, we have access to the saved products, each one of them. And the condition is that we are keeping only the items where the saved products.id is not the same as the current wine ID of the products that we are looking at. Once we've done this, everything else will stay the same. However, now, because we are not only adding to the wish list but also taking it out, over here, instead of setting the value to true, rather negate the saved value. So now if I press on the button again, we see that it is no longer in the wish list. And if I go to my profile page, the wish list is empty. Back on the details page, I can add it back again, I can take it out, and I can add it back again. But if I go to the profile, it's only one that is there. So we don't have the duplicate issue anymore. With this done, our wish list is working as expected. And also from the profile page, if we have a wish list, we can visit the details as well. And still, we see that the item is in the wish list. And from here, we can also add to the cart and proceed with our purchase, just like so. Now to test whether the permanent storage is working, we can reload the app. Once the app is loaded, we check our profile again and we see that the item is still in the wish list, meaning that it is working as expected. And visiting the product details, we see that the item is still in the wish list. At this point, we've done all we wanted to do in this part. I'll put a link in the description below to what we've done here so you can check it out.